Good evening from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 7:02 p.m. on the 29th of January 2025. Had a very hot day here in Brisbane, Australia, and probably throughout all of Queensland or all of Australia actually, but yes, it was a scorcher today. It's still currently 27 degrees at 7:03 p.m. So I hope you're all looking after yourselves in the Queensland heat and not going too troppo, which can be a bit like that sometimes, people of Earth. It wears on our nerves. Anyway, I thought I would continue on with Arabian Nights. We've got 51 pages to go, and I'll continue with the tale of, can't read it, back to front, people of Earth. The tale of Ali bin Bakker and Shams al-Nahar. And let us begin. Quoth Scheherazade the following evening, now as regards the adventures of Ali bin Bakker and Shams al-Nahar. In days of yore and in times and ages long gone before, during the caliphate of Harun al-Rashid, who by the way was an actual real caliph in the history of Muslim, in the history of the Islamic caliphate in the Arabian countries. He's a real person, actually did exist. Not so sure how real the stories are centered around him, but I suppose there's elements of truth in everything. Anyway, during the caliphate of Harun al-Rashid, there was a merchant who named his son Abu al-Hasan Ali bin Tahir, and the same was great of goods and grace, while his son was fair of form and face, and held in favour by all folk, meaning he was popular with everyone, which was a nice way to be, popular, getting along and thriving and being surrounded by good, kind people that love you and you love them. It's a nice way to live your life, people of Earth. Just saying. Right. He used to enter the royal palace without asking leave, for all the caliph's concubines and slave girls loved him. Ooh. That was enough to get your head chopped off in the old days, though. Just saying. Very risky for the slave girls and concubines to just let him have free reign throughout the palace. More ways than one, darlings. And he was wont to be companion with al-Rashid, the caliph, in his cups, meaning he was his drinking partner, and recite verses to him and tell him curious tales and witty. So that's probably why he was allowed free reign, because he was a good old raconteur and, drinking companion. Who doesndoesn't like a bit of convivial company from time to time? Let me think about that. Anyway, I'm joking, people of Earth. I've had a wonderful day with my hairdresser. Kylie Connolly made me all beautiful again, and we had a lovely time, her and I together. She's a wonderful woman. And I got to meet her sister-in-law, who was also a wonderful woman. We had just a jolly old time. Plus, I look all glamorous again for a few weeks till everything goes a bit wonky again. But always like it when I get my hair done and I'm all fresh and glamorous for a day or two. It's lovely. Now, where were we? Withal, he sold and bought in the merchant's bazaar, and there used to sit in his shop a youth named Ali bin Bakker, kookaburras. Of the sons of the Persian kings, who was formous of form and symmetrical in shape and perfect of figure, with cheeks red as roses and joined eyebrows. Like Frida Kahlo, I think they mean, monobrow. Sweet of speech, laughing lipped, and delighting in mirth and gaiety. Well, what else is there to delight in, people of earth? Who doesn't like a jolly good time with someone full of mirth and gaiety? Yes. I was thinking that this morning. I was slammed with grief about Charlie in the morning, and I thought, I need to do more fun things. I need to keep moving and working towards and striving for and my beautiful life. I need to have more fun, and now that it's summer, I need to go swimming more often. I need to just go out and about and do more things. And then later, one of my friends from the band, from Ramjet, posted, actually his partner, Cass, posted a lovely photo of the two of them swimming in a waterhole in Cedar Creek, and I thought, oh, that's just beautiful. So instead of just thinking it, I commented it because I wanted them to know that, I thought they had a lovely time. It was wonderful. And then I thought, I should do that too. I don't know where Cedar Creek is. I think it's a bit far from me. It's down Mount Tambourine Way or something. But I'm sure there's places I could go, that aren't too far. I wouldn't mind going up to Bribie Island, actually. Just go swimming up there one day. Or I haven't been to Noosa for many years, actually. And I haven't been to North Stradbroke Island for about 10 years, 10, 11 years. So there's places I could go that I haven't been in for a long time. That would be lovely. Or I could go to my beloved Byron, which is my Zen zone, my sacred space, my home away from home, when I can afford to go down there for little day trips. But yes, I need to get out more. And then it sort of hit me. I'm not confined anymore by having to rush home to make sure Charlie's looked after and put to bed at night and be there for her in the morning. I could actually go away for days or a week or two, even if I wanted to. I wouldn't, because I don't have the money for accommodation and stuff, but if I wanted to, the only upside of losing my Charlie is I'm free now to, if I wanted to stay overnight at friends' places, or maybe go to a caravan park and stay overnight somewhere, I could actually go and just take the car and just go and not have that stress of worrying about my little baby bird and who's going to look after her. And it means that when my money eventually comes from that settlement case, it's supposed to come in December, but they keep deferring it because they're evil, dirty bastards. They keep blaming the government, but I think it's them doing it, quite frankly. Mind you, it could be the government, because they're evil, dirty bastards too. But anyway, when I finally get my settlement, people of Earth, I could actually maybe, take a large chunk of that money up, but I could actually go home to New Zealand for a week and not have to worry about who's going to look after Charlie, and is she going to get sick and pine for me and die, because she's already gone now. Don't have to worry about that ever again, do we? It's awful, isn't it? It's just awful. But I'm freed up now, is what I'm saying. And, I'm not really freed up, though, because I don't have enough money to go anywhere, really. But when that money comes, I'm going to do something nice with it, like maybe go, I don't know. Where can I go, people of Earth? It's not too expensive. Somewhere for a couple of days. I could sleep out at night and not have to rush home. Ooh, after dancing all night till 2 o'clock in the morning, if I wanted to, I could stay out all night and not have to panic about my Charlie. So yeah, there's all that kind of thing. But you know, I don't want to be doing that, staying out all night. I used to do that in the old days, stay out, come home at dawn. But yeah, that was those were the days. I had more energy then. I was younger then. Anyway, just pondering. Future potentiates and what I can do with myself now that I'm not tied down by my beautiful beloved pets, who, quite frankly, I would rather have Charlie with me to this day. And you know, it didn't really bother me to have to rush home for her at 2 a.m. because she didn't wake up in the morning till dawn anyway. But it used to stress me more when the dog was alive, because I used to worry more about him, because doggies don't like it when you're out at night. They really fret big time, whereas birds, since they sleep from sunset to sun up, they don't fret. They only fret if you disappear during the day all day. So there is that. But anyway, where were we? I'll continue with the story, people of Earth. Ah yes, thinking I need more mirth and gaiety in my life. Well, I have the power to manifest it somehow, because attitude is everything, and enjoy every day is a beautiful gift waiting to be unwrapped, as if it was created just for me and everyone else on planet Earth. So there is that. Now it chanced one day, as the two sat talking and laughing, behold, there came up 10 damsels like moons, every one of them complete in beauty and loveliness and elegance and grace. And amongst them was a young lady riding on a she-mule with a saddle of brocade and stirrups of gold. Very valuable stirrups, my goodness. She wore an outer veil of fine stuff. I like that, just fine stuff. What kind of fine stuff? I'm thinking maybe organza or silk or some other very delicate Swiss voile maybe, some other delicate fabric. And her waist was girt with a girdle of gold-embroidered silk. And she was even, as saith the poet, silky her skin and silk that zoned waist, sweet voice, words not o'er many nor too few, to eyes quoth Allah be, and they became, and work like wine on hearts they make to rue. O love I feel grow greater every night. O solace, doom day bring out into view. And when the cortege reached Abul al-Hasan's shop, she alighted from her mule, and, sitting down on the front board, saluted him, and he returned her salam. When Ali bin Bakker saw her, she ravished his understanding, and he rose to go away. But she said to him, sit in thy place. We came to thee, and thou goest away. This is not fair. Replied he, O my lady, by Allah, I flee from what I see, for the tongue of the case saith, She is a sun which towereth high a sky, so ease thy heart with cure by patience lent. Thou to her sky height shalt fail to fly. Sorry to see the funny side of it. I don't know who writes this shit, but oh my god. Anyway, carry on, people. Nor she from skyey height can make descent. I think what he means is got her already up very high on a pedestal where she can neither climb down or climb back even higher. So she's trapped in a hellscape of his desire, longing and imagination. But is it real, people of Earth? We're about to find out. When she heard this, she smiled and asked Abu al-Hassan, "What is the name of this young man?" Who answered, "He is a stranger." And she inquired, "What countryman is he?" Whereto the merchant replied, "He is a descendant of the Persian kings. His name is Ali, son of Bakker, and the stranger deserveth honour." Rejoined she, "When my damsel comes to thee, come thou at once to us and bring him with thee, that we may entertain him in our abode, lest he blame us and say, 'There is no hospitality in the people of Baghdad, for niggardliness is the worst fault a man can have indeed.'" A poor, niggardly, miserly, lowlife, scumbag, stingy, putrescent people. So here we go. "Thou hearest what I say to thee, and if thou disobey me, thou wilt incur my displeasure, and I will never again visit thee or salute thee." Who is this woman? She has a certain je ne sais quoi. Quoth Abu al-Hassan, "On my head and my eyes, Allah preserve me from thy displeasure, fair lady." Then she rose and went her way. Such was her case. But as regards Ali bin Bakkar, he remained in a state of bewilderment. Now, after an hour, the damsel came to Abu al-Hassan and said to him, "Of a truth, my lady, Shams al-Nahar, the favourite of the commander of the faithful Harun al-Rashid, biddeth thee to her, thee and thy friend, my lord Ali bin Bakkar." Excuse me. So he rose, and taking Ali with him, followed the girl to the Caliph's palace, where she carried them into a chamber and made them sit down. I think when they say they carried someone, they mean took them by the arm, took or by the hand and led them through to somewhere. I don't think they mean they physically carried them. Just saying. But anyway, maybe they did. Maybe they put them on some kind of litter and physically carried them, but I think they just mean brought them into the room. Here's the young lady in question, but they're not showing her golden stirrups, which I'm a bit disappointed because I should like to have seen that, because it would be quite hard to make stirrups in gold because you'd need a lot of gold and you'd need a very, very large casting mould to pull them into. And I'm just intrigued how you would even go about that. But yeah, gold stirrups. as a baby silversmith, you know, I know I can see how difficult that would be to make, and how much metal you would need, gold you would need to make it. A very, very, very big fire, and it just seems, you know, it's doable if you have the right equipment. But anyway, I'm just gold stirrups. They had me at gold stirrups, people of Earth. Right, where were we, my friends, my people of Earth, my countrymen, my wise ones, my angels, my earth angels, my babies, my darlings, my sweethearts, my schadenfreude enemies that no doubt still watch my videos because they're bored and they need a life. And whoever else, you know, across the multiverses that stumbles across these videos, they'll be saying, what is she talking about? What is a stirrup, and what is gold, and what is a woman? Depending how far across the multiverse we travel, people of Earth. But meanwhile, let's stay grounded at sacred space in Brisbane, Australia, and carry on with the story. So she's carried them into a chamber and made them sit down. They talked together a while, when behold, trays of food were set before them, and they ate and washed their hands, which is excellent manners. Then, you can tell I'm a Jew because it's a very customary thing amongst Jewish people too. It's Middle Eastern customs. Washing your hands and feet sometimes too, depending what country you're in. Then they brought them, wasn't it Jesus that liked to have his feet washed all the time? Well, in those days, they had to, it was a desert. Anyway, clean feet, clean hands, clean mind, babies. So all you people in this dreadfully hot Brisbane day, I hope you have a shower before you go to bed. If you were walking around outside in the dirt and the dust, wash your feet before you go to bed. Honestly. Anyway, where were we? Then, you have to laugh. Then she bought them wine. Wine. I haven't drunk wine in ages. Oh my goodness. And they drank deep and made merry. Because see, I don't drink wine when I'm out dancing, because wine and I are great friends. Gets me very drunk very quickly on 2 glasses. So you'll never see me drinking wine when I'm out. I did drink someone bought me champagne about 6 months ago, which was very kind of them. And I said, I said to the person, it was a couple, a very nice couple. I said, what's wrong, Tanya? I said, I can't be drinking that when I'm out. I said, why? I said, I'll lose control. Can't lose control. And they went, oh, surely it can't be that bad, Tanya. I said, well, I've had 1 Jack Daniels, so I'm mixing my drinks, and then I'm having champagne. I said, I'll be as silly as a wheel. And they laughed. And just for shits and giggles, because it was early on in the evening, I thought, oh, why not actually? Why am I being so austere? So I had the champagne, and yes, I was quite silly after that. Quite silly. But it was actually kind of nice because I had time to sober up before I, got in my car and drove home. But yeah, I thought, shouldn't make a habit of that. It's dodgy as fuck. Because also I didn't know the people very well. Potentially, they didn't. They were nice people, but potentially they could spike your drink too. It was a bit dodgy. So after that, I kind of went all austere again. Thought I won't have any risk-taking behaviours, just say. But anyway, very rarely will I drink wine when I'm out. Even buying my own wine, I won't do it. If I want to drink wine, I buy a bottle of cheap Moscato because I like it to be fruity and sweet, and I can drink a whole bottle of wine in one sitting, which is about 4 glasses, which isn't too bad, but I stopped that because, not because I worry about alcoholism or anything, but just what's the point, you know? Quite happy with a cup of tea or a cold soft drink or something, and just save my drinky poos for my Friday night dance. And I've limited that down to 2 drinks a night too, because, you know, too much alcohol's, it's not good for the liver. You know, it's not good for you. And I don't need it. I need to stay aware. Thank God I was well aware last Friday with all that awfulness. By the gods. Oh, mind you, with that woman's behaviour, if I was drunk, could have gone very, very dangerously bad for her too. So just as well, I was under full control over my meridians. Let's just put it delicately. Anyway, where were we? They talked together a while, then behold, I know we read that, brought them wine, and they drank deep and made merry. After which she bade them rise, and carried them into another chamber, vaulted upon 4 columns, furnished after the goodliest fashion, with various kinds of furniture, and adorned with decorations, as it were one of the pavilions of paradise, a bit like my bedroom. I haven't got a beautifully decorated bedroom. Well, I used to lie there half dead, many years ago. Half dead like a zombie corpse bride. And now I'm no longer a zombie and no longer a corpse, but I still like to lie in my bed and look at all my ornaments and all my jewellery I've got hung around it, all my pictures, and it feels quite wonderful actually. Anyway, where were we? They were amazed at the rarities they saw, and as they were enjoying a review of these marvels, suddenly up came 10 slave girls like moons, swaying and swimming in beauty's pride. A night like this would be a nice night to go to South Bank for a swim actually. It's the time, 7:30. But it says here, rain is coming. Damn it. But that would be, it just doesn't look like we're going to get rain here yet. Maybe I should go to South Bank. Do they still keep those swimming pools open at South Bank in the summer? I'll have to Google it later, I don't know. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. The nicest thing is swimming naked at night in summer, but can't do that at South Bank. It's a public area, but 30 odd years ago when I was still married, I used to do that because I could, because my pool was hidden away. It was lovely. One of the most pleasurable sensual things is to swim naked at night. Anyway, that was a long, long time ago. If I swam naked at night now, most people would just freak out. No, it's not that bad. I'm confabulating a bit there. Anyway, where were we? Like moons swaying and swimming in beauty's pride, dazzling the sight and confounding the sprite, because they were young and beautiful slave girls, you understand. Let's be real here. And they ranged themselves in 2 ranks, as if they were of the black-eyed brides of paradise. Black-eyed brides of paradise. Black-eyed brides. Sounds like a heavy metal band, doesn't it? Trust me to think that way. And after a while, in came other 10 damsels, bearing in their hands lutes and diverse instruments of mirth and music. And these, having saluted the 2 guests, sat down and fell to tuning their lute strings. Then they, this book is so heavy now. Then they rose and, my hand hurts, and the things I do for you people of earth. Then they rose and standing before them, played and sang and recited verses, and indeed each one of them was a seduction to the servants of the Lord. Whilst they were thus busied, there entered other 10 damsels like unto them, high-bosomed maids, and of an equal age, with black eyes and cheeks like the rose, joined eyebrows, and looks languorous. A very fascination to every faithful wight, and to all who looked upon them, a delight. Clad in various kinds of coloured silks, with ornaments that amazed man's intelligence, they took up their station at the door, and there succeeded them yet other 10 damsels, even fairer than they, clad in gorgeous array, such as no tongue can say, and they also stationed themselves by the doorway. Then in came a band of 20 damsels, and amongst them the lady al-Nahar hight, as she were the moon among the stars, swaying from side to side, with luring gait. Luring gait. Oh my goodness. The man who translated this book, Mr. Sir Richard F. Burton, I don't think he was the same one as that was married to Elizabeth Taylor, but if so, it explains a lot actually. But anyway, by the gods, he was a lusty fellow, wasn't he? How he throws in all the sexual analogy and has us just ever so slightly in this almost just beneath consciousness erotica in the midst of a fucking fairy story, people of Earth. It's inspiring. Maybe I should write stories like that. Ooh, I could have you going for eons. But I'll get too titillated and, got nowhere to go with it, and then I'll be a Debbie Downer or depressed. What's worse than being brought to great heights of anticipation and almost orgasmic catharsis is being left hanging. It's like my marriage. Oh, it's sad, but it's true though. Oh, just saying, people of Earth, 20 seconds of sexual frisson and friction is not enough to bring a woman to ecstasy. 20 fucking seconds. Anyway, never mind. It was a long time ago. I can laugh about it now. Anyway. No, I can't. I'm laughing, but it's actually not funny. Oh, I've got the vapors now. Oh, I've got the vapors, people of Earth. Oh, dear goddess. Oh. As I said in one of my videos, I can't remember when now, one of them I said to you all, gentlemen of Earth, if you're going to make love, babies, make love and commit. Commit to the task with full consent, you understand. Full consent, but just make an effort. Anyway, one has to kind of chuckle about that. So, she walks in a bit like Mae West with luring gait and in beauty's pride. And she was veiled to the middle with the luxuriance of her locks. A bit like me. My hair doesn't reach my middle, but when it does, I'll be dangereuse, darlings. Yes, I might just walk in with a luring gait and I'll have all full Viking beads and I'll be a little bit dangerous. That's the fantasy, but my hair won't grow. My hair won't grow. It's not doing too badly lately. And might have to take my own advice. Start putting castor oil into my scalp and make those locks grow, babies. Grow. Anyway, I'm an old lady now. I've got some very odd ideas for an old lady. But I do want my Viking braids because I was inspired by my very, very ancient neighbour, Mrs. Euphemia Effie Walker, who had a long Viking braid. She was Scottish, actually. But she had a long braid right down. She tucked it in a very wide belt, and even with her hair braided and tucked under a belt, it still reached almost to her knee. So without it being braided and held back, if she'd let it loose, her hair would have probably reached down to her ankle. She had amazing fucking hair. But she was Scottish and she was strong and very bitter and nasty and malicious and cantankerous old biddy she was. She hated my guts. I admired her greatly. What was wrong with me as a child? I don't know. Anyway, I still remember her. I'd arrive like a little sprite, like a little fairy pixie at the bottom of her garden, having jumped off my father's shed roof and slid down the flax bushes, which was quite a dangerous thing to do for a 5 or 6 year old, by the way. And I would just slide from bush to bush to bush and land on my feet at the bottom corner of her garden. And she'd be out there with her hair in the braid. "What you doing there, little child? Get out! Get out of my garden now!" She hated me. She was like an evil old troll. But it was her actual garden, her land and her home, so she had a point. So I would just stare at her in great admiration and with great dignity and aplomb. I would say, "Yes, Mrs. Walker," and I would amble out of her garden, down her steps and go back to my house, where I was always trying to escape because I hated my family with a passion because they were even more awful than she was. She was a novelty compared to them. I had to live with them 24/7. So there was that, people of Earth. Anyway. Just trying to find where I was up to. I got so excited I lost my place. We were up to the luring gait and beauty's pride. Right, here we go. And she was veiled to the middle with the luxuriance of her locks. Bing, bang, boom, baby, back in the room. And clad in a robe of azure blue, which is a very beautiful shade of blue, and a mantilla of silk embroidered with gold and gems of price. I like her style. And her waist was girt with a zone set with various kinds of precious stones. She ceased not to advance with her graceful and coquettish swaying. Yes, I'm imagining Mae West, indeed. Till she came to the couch that stood at the upper end of the chapter and seated herself thereon. But when Ali bin Bakkar saw her, he versified with these verses. Source of mine evils, truly she alone's. Of long love longing, and my groans and moans. Near her I find my soul in melting mood, for love of her and wasting of my bones. Okay. And finishing his poetry, he said to Abu al-Hasan, "Hadst thou dealt more kindly with me, thou hadst forewarned me of these things ere I came hither." What on earth was that? No, of course you didn't find any threats. Go away, stupid machine. Oh, I can't activate it because it doesn't recognise anything, and even my friend who gave me this beautiful computer, it doesn't know what to do, so I probably won't be able to make stories on it for much longer if I can't activate it, because if I can't activate it, I can't update it to Windows 11, which means it'll be defunct and no longer operational, I think, maybe. Not sure. So I won't worry about that. We'll just carry on and hope for the best possible outcome. It doesn't always work for me. I have a dead bird. But anyway, Jesus. And and he wept and groaned and complained. Replied Abu al-Hasan, "O my brother, I meant thee naught but good, but I feared to tell thee this, lest such transport should betide thee as might hinder thee from foregathering with her, and be a stumbling block between thee and her. But be of good cheer, and keep thine eyes cool and clear, for she to thee inclineth, and to favour thee designeth." Asked Ali bin Bakker, "What is this young lady's name?" Answered Abu al-Hasan, "She is hight Shams al-Nahar, one of the favourites of the commander of the faithful, Harun al-Rashid, and this is the palace of the caliphate." Then Shams al-Nahar sat gazing upon the charms of Ali bin Bakker, and he upon hers, till both were engrossed with love for each other. Presently she commanded the damsels one and all to be seated, each in her rank and place, and all sat on the couch before one of the windows, and she bade them sing, whereupon one of them took up the lute and began carolling. "Give thou my message twice, bring clear reply in trice, to thee, O Prince of Beauty, with complaint I rise. My lord, as heart-blood dear, and life's most precious prize, give me one kiss in gift, or loan, if thou devise. And if thou crave for more, take all that satisfies. Thou donest me sickness dress, thee with health's weed I bless." Her singing, I roll my eyes because never mind. Her singing charmed Ali bin Bakker, and he said to her, "Oh dear goddess, please don't." But anyway, and he said to her, "Sing me more of the like of these verses." So she struck the strings and began to chaunt these lines. "By stress of parting, O beloved one, thou makes these eyelids torment race to run. O gladness of my sight and dear desire, goal of my wishes, my religion. Pity the youth whose eyne are drowned in tears of lover gone, distraught and clean undone. When she had finished her verses, Shams al-Nahar said to another damsel, "Let us hear something from thee." So, I shouldn't laugh. Oh dear goddess. Love does make you a bit silly though, doesn't it? We've all been there, people. At some time or another. We've all been there. Silly as wheels. Oh dear goddess. Anyway. She played a lively measure and began these couplets. His looks have made me drunken, not his wine. His grace of gait disgraced sleep to these eyne. Dazed me no cup, but cop with curly crop. What? Never mind. Don't think about it too hard. It's quite licentious, this man, this writer. His gifts overcame me, not the gifts of vine. His winding locks, my patience clue unwound. His robed beauties robbed all wits of mine. His robed beauties. Dear goddess. About to lose my wits just having to recite these ridiculous little ditties. When Shams al-Nahar heard this recital from the damsel, she sighed heavily, and the song pleased her. Then she bade another damsel sing, so she took the lute and began chanting. Face that with soul in heaven lamping vies, youth tide's fair fountain which begins to rise. Never mind, people of earth. Whose curly sidebed writeth writ of love, and in each curl concealeth mysteries? Cried Beauty, when I met this youth I knew 'tis Allah's loom such gorgeous robes supplies. When she had finished her song, Ali bin Bakker said to the slave maiden nearest him, Sing us somewhat, thou, O damsel. So she took the lute and began singing. Our trysting time is all too short, for this long coyish coquetry. How long this? Nay, nay, and wait, wait. This is not old nobility. And now that time deigns lend delight, profit of the opportunity. When she ended, Ali bin Bakker followed up her song with flowing tears. And as Shams al-Nahar saw him weeping, groaning, complaining, she burned with love longing and desire and passion and transport consumed her. So she rose from the sofa and came to the door of the alcove where Ali met her, and they embraced with arms round the neck and fell down fainting in the doorway. Whereupon the damsels came to them and, carrying them into the alcove, sprinkled rose water upon them both. Which reminds me, I need to top up my little rose water spritz that I carry in my bag when I go dancing. When they recovered, they found not Abu al-Hassan, who had hidden himself by the side of the couch. And the young lady said, "Where is Abu al-Hassan?" So he showed himself to her from beside the couch, and she saluted him, saying, "I pray Allah to give me the means of requiting thee, O kindest of men." Then she turned to Ali bin Bakkar and said to him, "O my lord, passion hath not reached this extreme pass with thee without my feeling the like. But we have nothing to do save to bear patiently what calamity hath befallen us." Replied he, "By Allah, O my lady, union with thee may not content me, nor gazing upon thee assuage the fire thou hast alighted, nor shall leave me the love of thee, which hath mastered my heart, but with the leaving of my life." So saying, he wept, and the tears ran down upon his cheeks like threaded pearls. And when Shams al-Nahar saw him weep, she wept for his weeping. But Abu al-Hassan exclaimed, "By Allah, I wonder at your case, and am confounded at your condition. Of a truth, your affair is amazing. And your chance, Daisy. What, this weeping while ye are yet together? Then how it will be what time ye are parted and far separated," which is archaic English for "get over yourselves and harden the fuck up." Oh, harsh, harsh people of earth. And he continued, "Indeed, this is no tide for weeping and wailing, but a season for meeting and merrymaking. Rejoice, therefore, and take your pleasure, and shed no more tears." Then Shams al-Nahar signed to a slave girl, who arose and presently returned with handmaids bearing a table whose dishes of silver were full of various rich viands. They set the table before the pair, and Shams al-Nahar began to eat and to place titbits in the mouth of Ali bin Bakkar. And they ceased not doing so till they were satisfied, when the table was removed and they washed their hands. Then the waiting women fetched censers with all manner of incense, aloe wood and ambergris and mixed scents, and sprinkling flasks full of rose water were also brought, and they were fumigated and perfumed. Keeps the evil spirits at bay, does it not? After this, the slaves sat on vessels of graven gold containing all kinds of sherbets, besides fruits, fresh and dried, that heart can desire and eye delight in. And lastly, one brought a flagon of carnelian full of old wine. Old wine. Old wine in a flagon of carnelian. Interesting. Then Shams al-Nahar chose out 10 handmaids to attend on them, and 10 singing women, and, dismissing the rest to their apartments, bade some of those who remained strike the lute. They did as she bade them, and one of them began to sing, "My soul to him who smiled back my salute, in breast reviving hopes that were no more. The hand I love my secret brought to light, and censors tongues what lies my ribs below. My teardrops ever pressed twixt me and him, as though my teardrops, showing love, would flow. When she had finished her singing, Shams al-Nahar rose, and filling a goblet, drank it off, then crowned it again, and handed it to Ali bin Bakker, after which she bade another damsel sing, and she began singing these couplets. My tears thus flowing rival with my wine, pouring the like of what fills cup to brink. By Allah wot I not, and run these eyne with wine, or else it is of tears I drink. Salty. And when she ended her recitation, Ali bin Bakker drained his cup and returned it to Shams al-Nahar. She filled it again and gave it to Abu al-Hasan, who tossed it off, meaning he downed it in one go. Just needed to clarify that, people are there. New English has variations upon the theme. Well, it does. Then she took the lute, saying, none shall sing over my cup save myself. So she screwed up the strings and intoned these verses. The tears run down his cheeks in double row, and in his breast high flameth lover low. He weeps when near, a-fearing to be far, and whether far or near, his teardrops flow. And the words of another. Our life to thee, O cup-boy beauty dight, from parted hair to calves, from black to white. Soul beameth from thy hands, and from thy lips Pleiades, and full moon through thy collar's night. Good sooth the cups which made our heads fly round. Are those thine eyes pass round to daze the sight? No wonder lovers hail thee as full moon, waning to them for self ere waxing bright. Art thou a deity to kill and quicken, bidding this fair, forbidding other white? Allah from model of thy form made bow a tea, and the zephyr scented with thy sprite. Thou art not of this order of humanity, but angel lent by heaven to man. When Ali bin Bakker and Abu al-Hasan and those present heard Shams al-Nahar's song, they were like to fly for joy and sported and laughed. But while they were thus enjoying themselves, lo, up came a damsel, trembling for fear, and said, O my lady, the commander of the faithful's eunuchs are at the door, Afif and Masrur and Marjan and others whom wot I not. What I not means whom I do not know. When they heard this, they were like to die with fright. But Shams al-Nahar laughed and said, Have no fear. Then quoth she to the damsel, Keep answering them whilst we remove hence. And she caused the doors of the alcove to be closed upon Ali and Abu al-Hasan, and let down the curtains over the entrance, they being still within. After which she shut the door of the saloon, and went out by the privy wicket into the flower garden, where she seated herself on a couch she had there, and made one of the damsels knead her feet. Then she dismissed the rest of her women to their rooms and bade the portress admit those who were at the door, whereupon Masrur entered, he and his company of 20 with drawn swords. And when they saluted her, she asked, "Wherefore come ye?" Whereto they answered, "The commander of the faithful saluteth thee. Indeed he is desolated for want of thy sight. He letteth thee know that this be to him a day of joy and great gladness, and he wisheth to seal his day and complete his pleasure with thy company at this very hour." So say, wilt go to him, or shall he come to thee? Upon this she rose and, kissing the earth, replied, "I hear and I obey the commandment of the Prince of true believers." Then she summoned the women guards of her household and other slave damsels, who lost no time in attending upon her, and made a show of obeying the Caliph's orders. And albeit everything about the place was in readiness, she said to the eunuchs, "Go to the commander of the faithful and tell him that I await him after a little space, that I may make ready for him a place with carpets and other matters." So they returned in haste to the Caliph, whilst Shams al-Nahar, doffing her outer gear, repaired to her lover Ali bin Bakker and drew him to her bosom and bade him farewell, whereat he wept sore and said, "O my lady, this leave-taking will cause the ruin of my very self and the loss of my very soul. But I pray Allah grant me patience to support the passion wherewith he hath afflicted me." Replied she, "By Allah, none shall suffer perdition save I, for thou wilt fare forth to the bazaar and consort with those that shall divert thee, and thy life will be sound and thy love hidden for sure. But I shall fall into trouble and tristesse, sadness, nor find any to console me, more by token that I have given the Caliph a tryst, wherein haply great peril shall betide me by reason of my love for thee, and my longing for thee, and my grief at being parted from thee." Art imitating life. Oops, I did it again. It's not my fault, Art's imitating life. I didn't preview the story, by the way. We'll have to wing it. We'll have to wing it. We'll have to swim in the deep end with a mask and snorkel. For with what tongue shall I sing, and with what heart shall I present myself before the Caliph? And with what speech shall I accompany the commander of the faithful in his cups? And with what eyes shall I look upon a place where thou art absent? And with what taste shall I drink wine of which thou drinkest not? Quoth Abu al-Hasan, be not troubled, but take patience, and be not remiss in entertaining the commander of the faithful this night, neither show him any neglect, but be of good heart. Now at this juncture, behold, up came a damsel, who said to Shams al-Nahar, O my lady, the Caliph's pages are come. So she hastily rose to her feet and said to the maid, take Abu al-Hasan and his friend, and carry them to the upper balcony giving upon the garden, and there leave them till darkness come on, when do thou contrive to carry them forth. Accordingly the girl led them up to the balcony, and locking the door upon them both, went her way. As they sat looking on the garden, lo, the Caliph appeared, escorted by near 100 eunuchs. That's 100 ballless men, with drawn swords in hand, and girt about with a score, 20, damsels, young women, as they were moons, meaning they were all beautiful like the moon, all clad in the richest of raiment, and on each one's head was a crown set with jewels and rubies, while each carried a lighted flambeau, torch. The Caliph walked in their midst, they encompassing him about on all sides, and Masrur and Afif and Wasif went before him, and he bore himself with a graceful gait. Well, he should. He's a Caliph after all. So Shams al-Nahar and her maidens rose to receive him, and meeting him at the garden door, kissed ground between his hands, nor did they cease to go before him till they brought him to the couch whereon he sat down, whilst all the waiting women who were in the garden and the eunuchs stood before him. And there came fair handmaids and concubines, holding in hand lighted candles and perfumes and incense and instruments of mirth and music. Then the sovereign bade the singers sit down, each in her place, and Shams al-Nahar came up and, seating herself on a stool by the side of the Caliph's couch, began to converse with him, all this happening whilst Abu al-Hasan and Ali bin Bakker looked on and listened, unseen of the king. Presently the Caliph fell to jesting and toying with Shams al-Nahar, and both were in the highest spirits, glad and gay, meaning cheerful in this context, when she bade them throw open the garden pavilion. So they opened the doors and windows and lighted the tapers, till the place shone in the season of darkness, even as the day. Then the eunuchs removed thither the wine service, and quoth Abu al-Hasan, I saw drinking vessels and rarities, whose like mine eyes never beheld, vases of gold and silver, and all manner of noble metals and precious stones, such as no power of description can describe, till indeed it seemed to me I was dreaming, for excess of amazement at what I saw. but. As for Ali bin Bakker, from the moment Shams al-Nahar left him, he lay strewn on the ground for stress of love and desire, and when he revived, he fell to gazing upon these things that had not their like, and saying to Abu al-Hasan, O my brother, I fear lest the Caliph see us and come to know of our case, but the most of my fear is for thee. For myself, of a truth I know that I am about to be lost past recourse, and the cause of my destruction is naught but love and longing and excess of desire and distraction and disunion from my beloved after union with her. But I beseech Allah to deliver us from this perilous predicament. And they ceased not to look out of the balcony on the Caliph, who was taking his pleasure, till the banquet was spread before him, when he turned to one of the damsels and said to her, O Garam, let us hear some of thine enchanting songs. So she took the lute and tuning it, began singing, the longing of a Bedouin maid, whose folks are far away, who yearns after the willow of the Hijaz and the bay, whose tears when she on travellers' lights might for their water serve, and eke her passion with its heat, their bivouac fire purvey, is not more fierce nor ardent than my longing for my love. Who deems that I commit a crime in loving him alway? I'm just going to pop up and get myself something to drink, people of earth, because I'm very parched and thirsty. It's been a very hot day and I need to drink. I'll be back, won't be long. One moment, or a moment. Then our space-time continuum. Let me walk luringly with luring gait. Nah, just joking. Right, that was not good. My poor footsies. My poor foot. My poor foot. Right, I've got chocolate, I've got soft drink, and I've got water. I better not drink too much fluids though, because otherwise I'll be up eating all night, won't I? But I need something to drink. I managed to make a mess of myself when I fell over, and then I got all drink spilled down my dress. But it's late in the evening, and I'm going to go to bed soon, people of Earth, because I'm very tired. And it's still 26 degrees according to my laptop. That's hot for 8:18 p.m. Anyway, let us continue. Let us continue. Now when al-Nahar heard these voices, she slipped off the stool whereon she sat, and fell to the earth, fainting and becoming insensible to the world around her, upon which the damsels came and lifted her up. And when Ali bin Bakker saw this from the balcony, he also slipped down senseless. And Abu al-Hasan said, Verily fate hath divided love-desire equally upon you twain. Well, it happens. We fall in love. What's wrong with that actually? She's one of the Caliph's concubines. So off with her head. It's not fair, is it, sometimes? It's just not fair. As he spoke low, in came let me read that again with passion. As he spoke, lo! In came the pet damsel, who had led them up to the balcony, and said to him, O Abu al-Hasan, arise thou and thy friend, and come down, for of a truth the world hath waxed strait upon us, and I fear lest our case be discovered, or the Caliph become aware of you, unless you descend at once, we are dead ones. Told you they didn't mess about in those days. Quoth he, And how shall this youth descend with me, seeing that he hath no strength to rise? Thereupon the damsel began sprinkling rose water on Ali bin Bakker, till he came to his senses. When Abu al-Hasan lifted him up, and the damsel made him lean upon her. What's wrong with that picture? Never mind. Never mind. So they went down from the balcony and walked on a while, till the damsel opened a little iron door and made the two friends pass through it, and they came upon a bench by the Tigris's bank. Thereupon the slave girl clapped her hands, and there came up a man with a little boat, to whom said she, Take up these two young men, and land them on the opposite side. So both entered the boat, and as the man rowed off with them, and they left the garden behind them, Ali bin Bakker looked back towards the Caliph's palace, and the pavilion, and the grounds, and bade them farewell with these two couplets. I offered this weak hand as last farewell, while to heart-burning fire that hand is guided. Oh, let not this end union, let not this be last provision for long road provided. Thereupon the damsel said to the boatman, Make haste with them both. So he plied his oars deftly, the slave girl being still with them, and he rowed them towards the outer bank till they reached it and landed, whereupon she took leave of them, saying, "It were my wish not to abandon you, but I can go no farther than this." Then she turned back, whilst Ali bin Bakkar lay prostrate on the ground before Abu al-Hasan, and by no manner of means could he rise, till his friend said to him, "Indeed this place is not sure, and I fear lest we lose our lives in this very spot, by reason of the lewd fellows who infest it, and highwaymen, and men of lawlessness." Upon this Ali bin Bakkar arose and walked a little, but could not continue walking. Now Abu al-Hasan had friends in that quarter, so he made search for one of them in whom he trusted, and who was of his intimates, and knocked at the door. The man came out quickly, and seeing them, bade them welcome, and brought them into his house, where he seated them and talked with them, and asked them whence they came. Quoth Abu al-Hasan, "We came out but now, being obliged thereto by a person with whom I had dealings, and who hath in his hands dirhams of mine, and it reached me that he designed to flee into foreign parts with my monies. So I fared forth tonight in quest of him, taking with me for company this youth, Ali bin Bakkar, and, but, people of earth, but, when we came hoping to see the debtor, he hid from us, and we could get no sight of him. Accordingly we turned back empty-handed without a doit, but it was irksome to us to return home at this hour of the night. So, weeting not whither to go, we came to thee, well knowing thy kindness, and wanted courtesy. Ye are welcome, and welcome, answered the host, and studied to do them honour. So the twain abode with him the rest of their night, and as soon as the daylight dawned, they left him and made their way back, without aught of delay, to the city. When they came to the house of Abu al-Hasan, he conjured his comrade to enter, so they went in and lying down on the bed slept a while. As soon as they awoke, Abu al-Hasan bade his servants spread the house with rich carpets, saying in his mind, "Needs must I divert this youth and distract him from thinking of his affliction, for I know his case better than another." Then he called for water for Ali bin Bakkar, who, when it was brought, rose up from his bed, and making his ablutions, prayed the obligatory prayers which he had omitted for the past day and night, after which he sat down and began to solace himself by talking with his friend. When Abu al-Hasan saw this, he turned to him and said, "O my lord, it were fitter for thy case that thou abide with me this night, so thy breast may be broadened, and the distress of love-longing that is upon thee be dispelled, and thou make merry with us, so haply the fire of thy heart may thus be quenched." Ali replied, "O my brother, do what seemeth good to thee, for I may not on any wise escape from what calamity hath befallen me, so act as thou wilt. Accordingly, Abu al-Hasan arose and bade his servants summon some of the choicest of his friends, and sent for singers and musicians, who came, and meanwhile he made ready meat and drink for them. So they sat eating and drinking and making merry through the rest of the day till nightfall. Then they lit the candles, and the cups of friendship and good fellowship went round amongst them, and the time passed pleasantly with them. Presently, a singing woman took the lute and began singing. I've been shot by fortune, and shaft of eye down struck me and parted from fondest friend. Time has proved him foe, and my patience failed, yet I ever expected it thus would end. When Ali bin Bakker heard her words, he fell to the earth in a swoon and ceased not lying in his fainting fit till daybreak. And Abu al-Hasan despaired of him. But with the dawning, he came to himself and sought to go home, nor could his friend hinder him for fear of the issue of his affair. So he made his servants bring a she-mule, and mounting Ali thereon, carried him to his lodgings, he and one of his men. When he was safe at home, Abu al-Hasan thanked Allah for his deliverance from that sore peril, and sat a while with him, comforting him. But Ali could not contain himself for the violence of his love and longing. So Abu al-Hasan rose to take leave of him and returned to his own place. Ali, son of Bakker, exclaimed, O my brother, leave me not without news. I hear and obey, replied the other, and forthwith went away, and repairing to his shop, opened it, and sat there all day, expecting news of Shams al-Nahar, but none came. He passed the night in his own house, and when dawned the day, he walked to Ali bin Bakker's lodging, and went in and found him thrown on his bed, with his friends about him and physicians around him, prescribing something or other, and the doctors feeling his pulse. When he saw Abu al-Hasan enter, he smiled, and the visitor, after saluting him, inquired how he did, and sat with him till the folk withdrew, when he said to him, What plight is this? Quoth Ali bin Bakker, It was bruited abroad that I was ill, and my comrades heard the report, and I have no strength to rise and walk, so as to give him the lie who noised abroad my sickness, but continue lying strown here as thou seest. So my friends came to visit me, say, however, O my brother, hast thou seen the slave girl, or heard any news of her? He replied, I have not seen her since the day we parted from her on Tigris's bank. And he presently added, O my brother, beware thou of scandal, leave this weeping. Rejoined Ali, O my brother, indeed I have no control over myself. And he sighed and began reciting. She gives her woman's hand a force that fails the hand of me, and with red dye on wrist she guards my patience, fail and flee. And for her hand she fears so sore what shafts her eyes discharge. She's fain to clothe and guard her hand with mail ring panoply. The leech in ignorance felt my pulse, the while to him I cried, sick is my heart, so quit my hand which hath no melody. Quoth she to that fair nightly vision, favoured me and fled. By Allah, picture him, nor add, nor bate in least degree. Replied the dream, I leave him, though he die of thirst. I cry, stand off from water pit and say, why this persistency? Rained tear pearls her narcissus eyes, and rose on cheek belit. She made my sherbet, and the lote with bits of hail she bit. And when his recital was ended, he said, O Abu al-Hassan, I am smitten with an affliction, for which I deemed myself in perfect surety, and there is no greater ease for me than death. Replied he, be patient, haply Allah will heal thee. Then he went out from him, and repairing to his shop opened it, nor had he sat long, when suddenly up came the handmaid, who saluted him. He returned her salam, and looking at her, saw that her heart was palpitating, and that she was in sore trouble, and showed signs of great affliction. So he said to her, Thou art welcome, and well come. How is it with Shams al-Nahar? She answered, I will presently tell thee, but first let me know, how doth Ali bin Bakker? So he told her all that had passed, and how his case stood, and whereat she grieved and sighed and lamented and marvelled at his condition. Then said she, My lady's case is still stranger than this, for when you went away and fared homewards, I turned back, my heart beating hard on your account, and hardly crediting your escape. On entering, I found her lying prostrate in the pavilion, speaking not nor answering any, whilst the commander of the faithful sat by her head, not knowing what ailed her, and finding none who could make known to him aught of her ailment. She ceased not from her swoon till midnight, when she recovered, and the Prince of the Faithful said to her, What harm hath happened to thee, O Shams al-Nahar, and what hath befallen thee this night? Now when she heard the Caliph's words, she kissed his feet and said, Allah, make me thy ransom, O Prince of true believers. Verily, a sourness of stomach lighted a fire in my body, so that I lost my senses for excess of pain, and I know no more of my condition. Asked the Caliph, What hast thou eaten today? And she answered, I broke my fast on something I had never tasted before. Then she feigned to be recovered, and calling for something of wine, drank it and begged the sovereign to resume his diversion. So he sat down again on his couch in the pavilion, and the sitting was resumed. But when she saw me, she asked me how you fared. I told her what I had done with you both, and repeated to her the verses which Ali bin Bakker had composed at parting tide, whereat she wept secretly, but presently held her peace. After a while, the commander of the faithful ordered a damsel to sing, and she began reciting. Life has no sweet for me since forth ye fared. Would heaven I wot how fare ye who forsake. 'Twere only fit my tears were tears of blood, since you are weeping for mine absence sake. But when my lady heard this verse, she fell back on the sofa in a swoon, and I seized her hand and sprinkled rosewater on her face till she revived, when I said to her, O my lady, expose not thyself and all thy palace containeth. By the life of thy beloved be thou patient. She replied, Can aught befall me worse than death, which indeed I seek, for by Allah my ease is therein. Whilst we were thus talking, another damsel sang these words of the poet. Quoth they, Maybe that patience lend thee ease. Quoth I, since fared he where is patience' place. Covenant he made twixt me and him to cut the cords of patience at our last embrace. And as soon as she had finished her verse, al-Nahar swooned away once more, which, when the Caliph saw, he came to her in haste and commanded the wine to be removed, and each damsel to return to her chamber. He abode with her the rest of the night, and when dawned the day, he sent for chirurgeons and leeches and bade them medicine her, knowing not that her sickness arose from love and longing. I tarried with her till I deemed her in a way of recovery, and this is what kept me from thee. I have now left her with a number of her body women, who were greatly concerned for her, when she bade me go to you too and bring her news of Ali bin Bakker, and return to her with the tidings. When Abu al-Hasan heard her story, he marvelled and said, By Allah, I have acquainted thee with this whole case. So now return to thy mistress and salute her for me, and diligently exhort her to have patience, and say to her, Keep thy secret, and tell her that I know all her case, which is indeed hard, and one which calleth for nice conduct. She thanked him, and taking leave of him, returned to her mistress. So far concerning her, but as regards Abu al-Hasan, he ceased not to abide in his shop till the end of the day, when he arose and shut it and locked it, and betaking himself to Ali bin Bakker's house, knocked at the door. One of the servants came out and admitted him, and when Ali saw him, he smiled and congratulated himself on his coming, saying, O Abu al-Hasan, Thou hast desolated me by thine absence this day, for indeed my soul is pledged to thee during the rest of my time. Answered the other, Leave this talk. Were thy healing the price of my hand, I would cut it off ere thou couldst ask me, and could I ransom thee with my life, I had already laid it down for thee. Now this very day Shams al-Nahar's handmaid hath been with me, and told me that what hindered her coming ere this was the Caliph's sojourn with her mistress. And she acquainted me with everything which had betided her. And he went on to repeat to him all that the girl had told him of Shams al-Nahar, at which Ali bin Bakker lamented sore and wept and said to him, Allah upon thee, O my brother, help me in this affliction and teach me what course I shall take. Moreover, I beg thee of thy grace to abide with me this night, that I may have the solace of thy society. Abu al-Hassan agreed to this request, replying that he would readily night there. So they talked together till eventide darkened, when Ali bin Bakker groaned aloud and lamented and wept copious tears, reciting these couplets. Thine image in these eyne, a lip thy name, my heart thy home, how couldst thou disappear? How sore I grieve for life which comes to end, nor see I boon of union far or near. And these the words of another. She split my cask of courage with eye swords that sorely smite. She pierced my patience ringmail with her shape like Cain's spear light. Patched by the musky mole on cheek, was to our sight displayed. Camphor set round with ambergris, light dawning through the night. Her soul was sorrowed, and she bit carnelian stone with pearls, whose unions in a sugared tank ever to lurk unite. Restless she sighed and smote with palm the snows that clothe her breast, and left a mark, whereon I looked, and ne'er beheld such sight. Pens fashioned of her coral nails with ambergris for ink, 5 lines on crystal page of breast did cruelly indite. O swordsman, armed with trusty steel, I bid you all beware, when she on you bends deadly glance, which fascinates the sprite. And guard thyself, O thou of spear, whenas she draweth near, to tilt with slender quivering shape, likest the nut-brown spear. And when Ali bin Bakker ended his verse, he cried out with a great cry and fell down in a fit. Abu al-Hassan thought that his soul had fled his body, and he ceased not from his swoon till daybreak, when he came to himself and talked with his friend, who continued to sit with him till the forenoon. Then he left him and repaired to his shop, and hardly had he opened it when, lo! The damsel came and stood by his side. As soon as he saw her, she made him a sign of salutation, which he returned, and she delivered to him the greeting message of her mistress, and asked, How doth Ali bin Bakker? Well, Mama T can tell you, he's a sensitive little flower, one poem and he faints till midday the next day. He's a lover, not a fighter, people of earth. Is it good or is it bad? It depends. Well, they didn't make him tough in this story, that's for sure. Oh, dear grace. Answered he, O handmaid of good, ask me not of his case, nor what he suffereth for excess of love longing. He sleepeth not by night, neither resteth he by day. Wakefulness wasteth him, and care hath conquered him, and his condition is a consternation to his friend. I get it. Quoth she, My lady saluteth thee and him, and she hath written him a letter, for indeed she is in worse case than he. And she entrusted the same to me, saying, Do not return save with an answer, and do thou obey my bidding. Here now is the letter. So say, wilt thou wend with me to him, that we may get his reply? I hear and obey, answered Abu al-Hasan, and locking his shop and taking with him the girl, he went by a way different from that whereby he came, to Ali bin Bakkar's house, where he left her standing at the door and walked in to his great joy. And Abu al-Hasan said to him, The reason of my coming is that such an one hath sent his handmaid to thee with a letter, containing his greeting to thee, and mentioning therein that the cause of his not coming to thee was a matter that hath betided him. The girl standeth even now at the door. Shall she have leave to enter? And he signed to him that it was Shams al-Nahar's slave girl. Ali understood his signal and answered, Bring her in. And when he saw her, he shook for joy and signed to her, How doth my lord? Allah grant him health and healing. He is well, answered she, and pulling out the letter, gave it to him. He took it and kissing it, opened and read it, after which he handed it to Abu al-Hasan, who found these verses written therein. This messenger shall give my news to thee, patience what while my sight thou canst not see. A lover leavest in love's insanity, whose eyne abide on wake incessantly. I suffer patience pangs and woes that none of men can medicine, such my destiny. Keep cool thine eyes, ne'er shall my heart forget, nor without dream of thee one day shall be. Look what befell thy wasted frame, and thence argue what I am doomed for love to dree. I might break this up at the 2-hour mark, people of Earth, because we're about halfway through, I think. Roughly, just over halfway through. And afterwards, without fingers I have written to thee, and without tongue I have spoken to thee, to resume my case. I have an eye wherefrom Sleeplessness departeth not, and a heart went sorrowful, thought stirreth not. It is with me as though health I had never known, nor in sadness ever ceased to roam, nor spent an hour in pleasant place, but it is as if I were made up of pine, and of the pain of passion and chagrin. Sickness unceasingly troubleth, and my yearning ever redoubleth. Desire still groweth. That's one disgusting habit I did learn from my half-sister, licking all my fingers. Oh, wow. I'm going to be peeing a lot tonight, people of Earth. A lot. I suppose it's only 2.5 drinks though. I get bored of all these weird old English poetry love poems. I should be writing my own songs, my own poems, my own love stories. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just behave, eat chocolate, read fairy stories, drink H2O, contemplate my future, if I have one at this late stage of life. Oh, small spider. Delete, 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 delete. Oh dear goddess. Right. Carry on, people of Earth. When did I get distracted? Ah yes. Passion and chagrin. Sickness unceasingly troubleth, and my yearning ever redoubleth. Desire still groweth, and longing in my heart still gloweth. I pray Allah to hasten our union, and dispel of my mind the confusion, and I would fain thou favour me with some words of thine, that I may cheer my heart in pain and repine. Moreover, I would have thee put on a patience leaf, until Allah vouchsafe relief, and His peace be with thee. It's almost Shakespearean, that. It's not the first time it's reminded me of a Shakespearean play or sonnet or something like that. Oh, Yorkshire, not Shropshire, how wonderful. See, victim of popular culture I am. Right. When Ali bin Bakker had read this letter, he said, in weak accents and feeble voice, with what hand shall I write, and with what tongue shall I make moan and lament? Indeed, she addeth sickness to my sickness, and draweth death upon my death. Then he sat up, and taking in hand inkcase and paper, how many pages did I say? Because I'm tempted to just soldier on to the end, because we're so close. I get bored. People of Earth. When I get bored, it's anarchy and chaos. But I will complete this mission. I will complete this mission, people of Earth. Tomorrow. Tomorrow it will be completed. Indeed, she added sickness to my sickness, and draweth death upon my death. For the love of all the gods. How many people currently exist on planet Earth at this current point in time, in 29th of January 2025? I mean, we were near 8 billion, weren't we? And 8 billion people, he can't find one woman upon the earth that will want him for a requited, beautiful, soulful, joyous, loyal, faithful, devoted union that lasts for the rest of your lives together. Yeah, I haven't figured that one out either. Oh dear goddess. Well, some of us are not destined to have a lover that sticks with us till the end, because we keep choosing unavailable people, and it's a bit of a fucking problem, to be honest. But we don't curl up and die like Ali bin Bakker, because we build a stronger stock than that. We just handle it, baby. Sometimes not very well, but we handle it. Anyway, I rejoice in my beautiful friends who love me no matter what, even though I'm a little bit. How did the nurse at the Mater describe me? A unique character. Yes, I'm okay with that. Being a unique character in a sea of 8 billion souls. I am the Tanya. The gods built me this way. Daughter of the gods. So there. Here we sit in Titania's realm. Looking forward to the end of this particular cultural motif. Then he sat up and, taking in hand inkcase and paper, wrote the following reply. In the name of Allah, the compassionating, the compassionate, thy letter hath reached me, O my lady, and hath given ease to a sprite worn out with passion and love-longing, and hath brought healing to a wounded heart, cankered with languishment and sickness. For indeed I am become even as saith the poet, straitened bosom, reveries dispread, slumberless eyelids, body wearied, patience cut short, disunion longsomest, reason deranged, and heart whose life is fled. Oh look, you have to give him credit. The man is a communicator. He answers in entire sentences and in very bad poetry. You've got to give the man his dues. How long will it take till he faints till midday again, though? One can never tell. And know that complaining is unavailing, but it easeth him whom love longing disordereth, and separation destroyeth, and with repeating union I keep myself comforted. And how fine is the saying of the poet who said, did not in love plight joys and sorrows meet, how would the message or the writ be sweet? When he had made an end of this letter, he handed it to Abu al-Hasan, saying, read it and give it to the damsel. So he took it and read it, and its words stirred his soul, and its meaning wounded his vitals. Then he committed it to the girl, and when he took it, Ali bin Bakker said to her, salute thy lady for me, and acquaint her with my love and longing, and how passion is blended with my flesh and my bones. And say to her that in very deed I need a woman who shall snatch me from the sea of destruction and save me from this dilemma. For of a truth fortune oppresseth me with her vicissitudes, and is there any helper to free me from her turpitudes? And he wept And the damsel wept for his weeping. Then she took leave of him, and went forth. And Abu al-Hasan went out with her, and farewelled her. So she ganged her gate, and he returned to his shop, which he opened, and sat down there according to his custom. But as he tarried, he found his heart oppressed and his breast straitened, and he was perplexed about his case. So he ceased not from melancholy the rest of that day and night, and on the morrow he betook himself to Ali bin Bakker, with whom he sat till the folk withdrew, when he asked him how he did. Ali began to complain of desire, and to descant upon the longing and distraction which possessed him, and repeated these words of the poet: Men have plained of pining before my time, live and dead by parting, being terrified. But such feelings as those which my ribs immure, I have never heard of, nor ever espied. And these of another poet: I have borne for thy love what never bore for his fair Kays, the daft one, height of old. Yet I chase not the wildlings of wold and wild, like Kays, for madness is manifold. Thereupon quoth Abu al-Hasan, Never did I see or hear of one like unto thee in thy life. When thou sufferest all this transport and sickness and trouble, being enamoured of one who returneth thy passion, how would it be with thee, if she whom thou lovest were contrary and contumelious, causing arousal? I think that's what that means. We'll just check, people over there. I'm pretty sure it means causing an erection, actually. Let me just check, because I could be wrong. I could be wrong. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But when I'm right, I'm right. And most of the time I'm right, but not always. I can be wrong. Just like being wrong. And I'm so wrong. I'm very, very wrong. Contumelious of behaviour, scornful and insulting or insolent, rude in a contemptuous way, insulting. Why did I think it was an erection, people are there? That's odd, isn't it? Yesterday's word was coit, which did indeed mean, the C word. Rude, mean, or humiliating towards someone. Well, there you go. An incident where I'm actually wrong. What do I do when I'm wrong? I'll have to keep learning that word over and over again until I never forget it. Laugh at myself. Ha ha! Ha ha! I'll be mean and insulting to myself and humiliate myself for being stupid and appending the wrong meaning to that word. And then I'll get over it. Right, where were we? Where were we? They lost us at contumelious. Right. How would it be with thee if she whom thou lovest were contrary and contumelious, mean, humiliating, contemptuous, and thy case were discovered through her perfidy? And Ali the son of Bakker, says Abu al-Hasan, was pleased with my words, and he relied upon them, and he thanked me for what I had said and done. I had a friend, continued Abu al-Hassan. I have to work out where I'm going to break up the story because there's quite a lot to go still. There's quite a lot of people there. I digress. I said I would stop at 2 hours and we're already 2 hours and 5 minutes. But yeah, this laptop only films for 3 hours and I've got more than 55 minutes worth of reading there. So, alright, where shall I finish? There's no paragraph breaks. Anyway, I had a friend, continued Abu al-Hassan, to whom I discovered my affair and that of Ali, and who knew that we were intimates. But none other than he was acquainted with what was betwixt us. He was wont to come to me and inquire how Ali did, and after a little he began to ask me about the damsel, but I fenced him off, saying she invited him to her, and there was between him and her as much as can possibly take place, and this is the end of their affair. But I have devised me a plan and an idea which I would submit to thee. Asked his friend, and what is that? Answered Abu al-Hassan, I am a person well known to have much dealing among men and women, and I fear, O my brother, lest the affair of these twain come to light, and this lead to my death, and the seizure of my goods, and the rending of my repute, and that of my family. Wherefore I have resolved to get together my moneys, and made ready forthright, and repaired to the city of Bassora, and there abide till I see what cometh of their case, that none may know of me, for love hath lorded over both, and correspondence passeth between them. At this present their go-between and confidant is a slave girl, who hath till now kept their counsel. But I fear lest haply anxiety get the better of her, and she discover their secret to some one, and the matter being bruited abroad, might bring me to great grief, and prove the cause of my ruin, for I have no excuse to offer my accusers. What's it actually got to do with him, to be honest, though? Like, talk about drama queen living off someone else's love story. It's just weird. It really is weird. But people do that sort of thing. Rejoined his friend, thou hast acquainted me with a parlous affair, from the like of which the wise and understanding will shrink with fear. Allah avert from thee the evil thou dreadest with such dread, and save thee from the consequences thou apprehendest. Assuredly thy recking is aright. So Abu al-Hassan returned to his place, and began ordering his affairs and preparing for his travel. Nor had 3 days passed ere he made an end of his business, and fared forth Bassora wards. His friend came to visit him 3 days after, but finding him not, asked of him from the neighbours, who answered, he set out for Bassora 3 days ago, for he had dealings with its merchants, and he is gone thither to collect monies from his debtors, but he will soon return. The young man was confounded at the news, and knew not whither to wend, and he said in his mind, would I had not parted with Abu al-Hassan. When he bethought him of some plan whereby he should gain access to Ali bin Bakker, So he went to his lodging and said to one of his servants, Ask leave of me for thy lord, that I may go in and salute him. The servant entered and told his master, and presently returning, invited the man to walk in. So he entered and found Ali bin Bakker thrown back on the pillow and saluted him. Ali returned his greeting and bade him welcome, whereupon the young man began to excuse himself for having held aloft from him all that while, and added, O my lord, between Abu al-Hasan and myself there was close friendship, so that I used to trust him with my secrets, and could not sever myself from him an hour. Now it so chanced that I was absent 3 days' space on certain business with a company of my friends, and when I came back and went to him, I found his shop locked up. So I asked the neighbours about him, and they replied, He is gone to Basora. Now I know he had no surer friend than thou, so by Allah, tell me what thou knowest of him. And I think I will break it up there. Yes, I shall break it up there, people of earth. How many pages do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 pages. Can I fit 14 pages into 14 minutes or 39 minutes? No, I'll be good. I'll finish it tomorrow. I promise you, my wonderful humanoids, Homo sapiens sapiens, Homo erectus, Homo neo, what's that new thing that they say we are now? We're no longer human. Such the, well, what are we now as a species? Some of us are devolving, some of us are evolving, but you can never tell at any moment in time. Let's Google it, just out of curiosity. Let me just mark the page so I know where we're at when I start again tomorrow with my frivolity and my storytelling. My storytelling, people of earth. It's not my story, is it? It's an ancient Arabic story. Right. Now I don't want to play the year of the snake. It's my year this year. I'm a wood snake, and it's a wood snake year. Potent, people of earth. Let's hope it's going to be a good year. It got off to a very bad start, losing my Charlie, but she hasn't in truth been well for quite some time, so I just didn't expect it to be an egg that took her out, to be honest. No. So what are we trying to figure out? What species are humans post-COVID? See what they say. Be interesting, won't it? Probably give me nightmares. No, someone coined it. I just can't remember what it was now. Species are humans post-COVID. Just, just out of curiosity what it comes up with. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, I know we're Homo sapiens, but what are we now? What is the new human species? A new ancient human species. But I don't want to know what the ancient ones are. For your reference, it was Homo juliensis. Humans may be passing COVID-19 to common wildlife species via human waste. That's a horrible fucking thought, isn't it? So I haven't asked that question correctly because it's just not giving me the answer. Anyway, I did read it or hear it somewhere, but I can't remember what the term was. Let me just put it another way. How can I put it another way? I've gone blank, I'm so tired. Homo sapiens. Sapiens. It would help if I can bloody spell in here. Sapiens evolves to what genus? It's probably the wrong word too. No, it's still got us stuck at. They've still got us stuck on being Homo sapiens sapiens, but we are no longer Homo sapiens sapiens. I'm telling you that from now because I read it or saw it somewhere. Oh, here it is. Is that it? No, that's not it. That's an extinct species, so that's not it. Human evolution timeline. Anyway, it's a little bit concerning, people, there. That's all I have to say about that. So the moral of that story is stay human for as long as you can. I don't know why I'm so attached to being human, since historically most humans were pretty fucking awful to me and seriously let me down right up until about the age of, I only had really a lovely time in the last 17 months with my beautiful friends at the Brooklyn Standard. So how old was I when I started going there? 58. 58. It's taken 58 years to find people that actually enjoy my company and most of the time treat me with respect, except for those fucking awful aberrations. Michelle and Stewie Baby and that other freak the week before, John. Most of the people have been lovely though. So let us focus on all the good that we've built together instead of the few fucking miscreants. Oh dear goddess. Anyway, the time is now 9:22 p.m. I'll be coming back tomorrow to finish the Arabian Nights stories on page 711, the first chapter down. And I kind of need to have a rest now. Actually, I'm very tired now. Very tired. I guess I had a wonderful day today and talking talk the ears off my lovely hairdresser Kylie. But it's okay because she and her other client talk back, and now I'm tired. So, peace be upon you, me, all of us. Remember, as always, to never ever let the bastards grind us down. Strive to live your best life with harm to none and competition with none. So it is done. And stay cool tomorrow. Those of you who live in Brisbane, Australia. According to my laptop, it's still 26 degrees, which is quite hot for this time of the evening. So, bye for now, and I'll be back to reach completion tomorrow.